I want to talk about gentrification because we don't realize how much gentrification really affects who we are and our decision makings day by day and our entire life choices. Like, why do we choose the career we choose? Why do we want a family? Why do we buy the things we buy every day? And why do we want the things we want? Well, let me tell you, what is gentrification? Okay, gentrification is basically a poor urban area, or I guess you could say the old middle class, so it's not the wealthiest of people, that is constantly being renovated for the wealthy class, okay? So for example, adding a Starbucks, okay? It's a minuscule example, but it's an example, okay? It's not like adding a Walmart to a block, okay? It's like adding Tesla stations, or Rolls-Royce, Mercedes, like wealthy places for wealthy people. This is what gentrification is. It confuses the people that live there because now they think they need those things. They think they need to afford those things. And gentrification affects us day by day and also through our entire lives. If we're constantly being thrown all these things that we could possibly buy, but we can't afford, it makes us think that we need those things, that we want those things. We need the Mercedes, we need the Rolls-Royce, we need the Tesla, because there's so many Teslas being driven around now in our area, when before even a Tesla place was even built, there was no Teslas being driven in the area. So gentrification, it changes your perception of what you want and who you are. And this is a great example also of inflation, right? And the whole recession going on right now. Gentrification happens when they start building all these places that don't match. It doesn't match the income, the average income of the area. And I want to talk about gentrification because it involves me. Like, all my decisions are basically being altered by where I live. And I live in America, okay? America is the same on every block. You can go to different states and you can see different landscapes, but all in all, it's all the same. Like, the roads are the same, the intersections are the same, the whole entire interstates are the same. Like, you see the same of everything. The same businesses, the same people, the same goals that everyone has is to have the same cars, the same house, the same clothes. You know, the things that you want to buy is not always the things that you really want to buy. Like, it's probably because someone else has it. But the reason why I'm really bringing up gentrification is because I want to be a model, okay? And I'm trying to really understand the depth of why I want to be a model, okay? Being a model is me being gentrified. I'm being gentrified into this decision because I'm in Florida. I'm literally in the United States. If I was born in any other part of the world, I would not even have this recollection. I would not even be able to think in this perspective in the slightest. Like, we are all freaking blessed to even want these things that we don't need. You know, like, to be able to say that I want to be a model, like, I could have been born in Kansas and think otherwise, or I could have been born in Saudi Arabia and not think like this in the slightest, yo. Like, this is because I was raised in Florida. Literally, I'm gentrified to thinking that I want to be a model. And I want you all to realize this, because a lot of our decisions are based off of the government trying to push us into a direction. Like, them building a Tesla place. Like, you really think I'm gonna want a Tesla? Like, now I'm thinking ahead of it. But all the generations below us, they're gonna think they need these things because they're surrounded by it. This is what gentrification is. Gentrification is like peer pressure. It's literally peer pressure. It's like telling you, hey, here's a bunch of things shoved in your face. Now let's see if you come and try to grab it. Let's see if they take the bait. Literally, that's what it is. And this is why There's a lot more nicer cars now. People are paying car payments because they feel like they need the nicest cars, or even luxury apartments. You know, people can't live in a regular apartment anymore because there's nothing but luxury apartments being built. Like, you don't go back in time and unrenovate apartments when they're being built. No, you renovate them while they're being built. So all these new apartments being built is, first of all, creating the inflation and creating the gentrification that you need a luxury apartment, because that's all they're building. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're building Toyota factories. No, they're building Tesla factories and freaking Cybertruck factories, because they know 10 years from now, Generation Alpha, once they start driving and getting their shit together, they're gonna want to be driving a Tesla over a Toyota. And they know they're gonna grab their perspective and change it. They're changing it right now because they're already shoving it on all of our faces. Like, come on. Like, are you telling me you really need to go get that Starbucks right now? You know what I mean? So, gentrification, I want to talk about it because it affects my life. It affects the way I think, and I don't want to completely be altered into this perspective. Like, this is why perspective is everything. Like, if you feel so narrow-minded, you need to go somewhere. You need to go somewhere else. You need to see life. You need to see something else, because you'll quickly fall into this trap of thinking you need something when you don't. You really, really, really don't. And if you think your soul needs it, honey, nope, nope. What I'm telling you right now, comparison is a thief of all evil. It's a thief of all happiness. It's a thief of joy, okay? Comparing yourself to someone who has something that you might want, hang out with them. Or try hanging out with someone who has those things. Can you really appreciate what they have? Can you appreciate it if you had it? Like, sometimes you can experience things without actually having it for yourself, you know? So you can actually see if it's really what you want. And gentrification is a great example of that, because we're being shown all these things that we don't need, all this marketing, all this capitalism. We don't need everything. Like, stop thinking you need it. This is what gentrification is. And Amazon was a great example of that. It was innovative, but half the shit on Amazon you don't need. All of that is cheap crap that is going to be thrown away within 6 months, you know? And that's just minuscule. That's minuscule things. I'm talking more like big scale, like Teslas, houses, apartments, you know, these big ticket items that people really strive and work hard for because they tell themselves they really need it or want it. You need to be so confident and believing in what you want and need, because if you really can't tell someone why you want something or need something, you don't really need it or want it. And yes, you will need a roof over your head. Yes, of course you will need one. Of course you will need food. Of course you will need water. Of course you will need clothes on your back, okay? But the things that you want, if you can't sit there and really, really explain it, you're gentrified. You are gentrified to thinking you want this. You want this. And it could even be a concept like modeling. Modeling, like me being a model, is gentrified. And I am not scared to say it. Like, I'm not lying. I'm not lying to myself. Like, if I'm lying to myself saying, yes, this is everything I need, this is the answer to me, it's the full enchilada, like, I'm going to fulfill life, I'm going to be self-actualized when I'm a model. No, I'd be, come on, yo. Like, life isn't that deep. Life is deep, but life is what you make it. So if you really think it's this deep, shallow, like you need one thing to be happy, you need a bunch of things to be happy, and it's not materials. It's not something you have to tell yourself you need or want. It's just, it's a natural want for your soul. It should be so natural you can explain it easily. You know, if you have to really think about it, you don't really want it that bad. You know, like, gentrification is so effective. It's affected so many generations, but technology is so fast now that everything's being pushed. Everything's being pushed, and it's just happening so fast right in front of our faces. And I just want everyone to realize what you want before you actually go try and get it, because usually it's a gentrification. Usually that's what it is. And that's really the only reason why people build in these areas, because they want to shift the whole population and what they can afford. So that's it today. I wanted to talk a little bit about gentrification because I felt like I related to it a little bit, and I related to how sometimes I have to explain to myself why I want certain things, and usually it's because I'm being gentrified. I'm being pushed into a direction, and I just have to realize it when it happens. I have to realize it when it's happening in the moment, and it's happening all around us. We can't control it. You have to control your thoughts, your perspective, and control what you do. Control your decisions. Control what you really want in your life, because no one else is going to do it for you unless they start pushing you. And yeah, that's it today. Outside right now. I've been packing my apartment, so I'm a little tired, and I've been working, so yeah, I wanted to talk about that because gentrification is huge, especially now. Like, everything is being pushed into this one spectrum of finances and people who can afford a Tesla. Like, it's either you can afford a Tesla or you can't. There's no in between anymore. So don't feel bad if you can't, because you don't need that shit. You don't need it. You don't need it. You need food, water, a bed to sleep on, a roof over your head, and God. In the holy name. Amen. I'll see you guys tomorrow.